How are you, my fans, sneak peepers, and curious friends? I am difficult and demanding. If you want to know my real name, then hold still, and I might bring your wish to fruition. Before we begin, you can find this podcast show in iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Blueberry, Google Play Music, TuneIn, YouTube, and Stitcher. Now, unlike the other people in your life, I actually care about what you think. So meet me halfway, take a tiny moment, and give my podcast and each episode a review rating. This is the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast, keeping it real, uncensored, and shooting straight between the eyes. The third eye, that is. I am going to hit you with explicit truth. This solo show is outrageously honest and keenly witty with a view into life. Yes, I said life. That's what we do every day when we wake up from sleeping. We are living life. Well, some of us at least. Moreover, I hope to provide you with gut-wrenching laughter and a touch of wisdom. Let's get something straight. Really, really straight. I am truly, actually, habitually, and shamelessly difficult and demanding, and I completely own it. Now, I don't ask for much because I expect and receive it all. I firmly believe that if you expect shit, you will receive shit. What does that mean? Well, it means expect nothing but the best and don't settle for less. Now, as always, I, your host, Tara, am keeping it real and uncensored. So, unplug from life and dive all into episode 12 of the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast, keeping it real on the ridiculous world we live in. Today's show is called Cray Cray All Day. This episode is going to pull your blinders off. If I lay it out for you, will you be able to see the mockery of our democracy? How long can we continue to make excuses and turn a blind eye to the blatant corruption politicians are perpetrating in our government? Finally, our leaders are suffering from the biggest dick syndrome. Is there a cure? I hope so. Before I begin, I am going to do a call out. What's a call out? Well, it's not a shout out. I am calling out you motherfucking lurkers. If you have entered my world, then be honest with yourself about it. You want to be here, and you know I want you here, so follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Finally, climb aboard and enjoy the entire show, because I am giving you plenty of ridiculous honesty. Once the podcast episode ends, I am keeping it going on my Instagram page at Difficult and Demanding and on my Twitter page at Mrs. D&D. Hello and welcome back. I hope you all had a wonderful week. I had a great week also. I've been thinking about what I wanted to share about myself with you this week. And something that came to mind is apologies and compliments. Now you're saying, what about apologies and compliments? Well, first of all, I don't do apologies and compliments. What that means is that I don't have a problem giving compliments. I don't have a problem apologizing. Where my problem lies is when an apology or a compliment is given to me. When an apology is given to me, it's because someone has gone and done some shit that they know it's wrong and I know it's wrong, but I'm the motherfucker with the problem. And if I have a problem, an apology, I think it's bullshit because it really doesn't do anything for me. Let me tell you how apology works in my head. If someone has gone and done some shit that I am personally offended by or have a problem with, then they are apologizing to me so that I can help them feel better about the bullshit they have gone and done. Let me explain that again. Think about it very carefully. Someone does something to you. You tell them you have a problem. They say, I'm sorry. That I'm sorry makes you, quote unquote, feel better. And in turn, now that you feel better, they now feel better about the shit they've done to fuck you over. You see, an apology, it's nothing. It's really nothing. It seems like a lot of something, but it's really, really nothing. How many times have you received an apology from a person who keeps doing the same shit over and over and over again? The point of an apology is, I'm sorry, and I'm never going to do that motherfucking shit again because I've learned. And I appreciate you so much for forgiving me that I'm going to make sure that I don't do that shit again. But how often does that work? It never motherfucking works, because if the person has done it and they've apologized and you've accepted it one time, then the second time they've gone around and done the same shit or similar shit and they've apologized and you've accepted it, you basically have stamped on your motherfucking forehead, I am a sucker. That's what it means. I'm a sucker, and you can keep apologizing to me and you can keep doing the same shit to me. So this is why I don't do apologies. Apologies are really for the motherfucker that's fucked up. They want you to help them feel better about the dirty shit that they've done to you. So instead of apologizing to me, what you need to do is fix the shit and don't do it again. Because if you come to me with a motherfucking apology, you're the one that's going to need an apology, but you're never going to get one from me. Because if you fuck me over once, shame on you. You fuck me over twice, shame on me. You try it a motherfucking third time, your ass is cease and desist. It's over. It's not going to work. So again, I want to reiterate. If I do something wrong, I don't have a problem apologizing because I'm sincere, and you can be damn sure that I'm not going to do it again because I hold you in a high regard. I care for you as a person, as a human being, as a component, as a part of my life, and I treasure you. That's what I do when I apologize. That's how I view you. If I don't give a fuck about you, you won't get an apology from me. So if I'm apologizing, it's some real shit and it means something. But typically with most people, an apology, it's nothing. It's always nothing. So one thing I want you to take away from me is that if you have a person who is readily and available to apologize for some shit, for some similar shit that they keep on doing, you really have to evaluate yourself, the situation, and the person. Because nothing has changed, nothing is getting fixed, and all you're doing is you're getting punked, you're getting manipulated into helping that motherfucker feel better so to the next time they can offend you and keep on moving. Think about that shit. 2, compliments. I love giving compliments. I love receiving compliments. But here's my problem with a motherfucking compliment. Most people, 98, 99% of people who give you a compliment, if you look very closely, there's some motherfucking strings attached. That means they want something from you today, tomorrow, or the far in the future. So they're just buttering you up. They're working you up to make you like them, to let your guard down, so they can sucker your ass into doing some shit that you don't want to do, or giving up some shit that you don't want to give. So anytime a motherfucker's coming to you complimenting, the first thing you should do is say thank you. Because a lot of us have problems receiving compliments. We say, oh no, oh no. If someone gives you a compliment, say thank you. But in the back of your goddamn mind, make sure your antenna, your flag, or whatever you use as your compass, inner compass, goes up, and you say, I'm going to watch that motherfucker. I'm going to watch it with my left eye. I'm going to watch it with my right eye. And I'm going to watch that bitch ass with my middle third eye. Because they want something from you. And they may not know what it is they want from you yet. But I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they want something from your ass. Now, when I give a compliment, I give it from the bottom of my heart, no strings attached. I don't give a fuck about your name, your social security number, your zip code, what kind of motherfucking car you drive. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm just spreading good vibes because you know what? That's the right thing. That's the good thing to do. But you're not going to meet a lot of me. That I can guarantee you. And if I want something from you, I don't have a problem saying, look, this is what I need, X, Y, and Z. Can you help me or not? I'm not going to butter you up. I'm not going to suck your clit. That's what I said. I'm not going to suck your clit. I'm not going to sniff your balls. And I'm definitely not going to play with your asshole to get what the fuck I want. So either you have it available or you don't. If you don't, I'm cool with it also. Nothing personal. We keep it moving. We keep it cordial. But I'm not going to be played for some sucker ass fool because someone thinks that, hey, you tell me I'm beautiful? Great. Tell me some shit I don't know. That's another motherfucking thing. People want to turn around telling you some compliments about shit that you should already know. You see, the love that you need needs to originate from within yourself. Yes, I said you need to have that love, that deep affection, adoration for yourself from inside. So that when some guy comes up and say, hey, you're beautiful, you're not dropping your panties like that for that motherfucker because he paid you some attention. Or some woman comes and makes you think that you're smart and you're successful. You go around spending all your goddamn money on her when she doesn't want you. So what I'm trying to tell you is love yourself first. Honor yourself first. Respect yourself first. So that when someone else comes around, they're just a garnishing. They're just a topping. They're not the main course. You can't rely on your self-love, your self-worth from other motherfucking people because they come and go like the seasons. They blow like the motherfucking leaves in the wind. And if you're relying on other people for your self-worth, your value, you're always going to be fucked up intermittently on a regular basis because people are motherfucking consistent. Love yourself. So when someone says, you know what, you look beautiful, I say thank you. Then I'm like, okay, tell me some shit I don't know. Because if you're coming to me with some weak ass, everyday motherfucking shit thinking you're going to impress me, you're a fool. You're a bitch ass fool because I'm not the one. I am not the one. See, I compliment myself all the motherfucking time. If you can hear the conversations going on in my head, no, I'm not schizo. I may sound schizo, but I'm not schizophrenic at all. I constantly give myself the respect and praise that I'm due because if no one else is supporting me, I have no problem being my one and only supporter. I can stand by myself. I can stand with others. I don't have a problem. And that is what I hope and wish for a lot of people is that you don't rely on others to see how valuable, how much of a gem you are. You are on this earth for a reason. You may not have had the chance to figure out what that is as of yet, but you have to understand and believe that you were born into this world for some significance and purpose. And you can't let some 2-bit blow in the wind motherfucker come and tell you that you are valuable. You have to trust and believe that you are valuable just because of the sheer fact that you exist on this world. A lot of people are depressed. They feel isolated. They feel hurt, sad, and lonely because they don't have the support and the love that they need from others. And let me tell you about something about humans. They can be here today. They can be gone tomorrow. But you were born in this world by yourself, unless you have a twin or some sort. But you came into the world by yourself. By yourself. You're going to die by yourself. Now, everything that happens in between, it's a blessing. You may have people today. You may not have them tomorrow. People come and go. But the only thing that's constant in your life is you. And you have to recognize that you are your treasure. You are your blessing. And it doesn't matter if someone doesn't like the way you smell, the way you talk, how you think, how you walk, how you look. It doesn't motherfucking matter. Let me tell you why. Just because someone says something doesn't make it true. If someone says something negative about you, that is their reality. Yes, it may be about you, but that is their reality. It has nothing to do with you. So next time someone says some shady ass shit about you, you look at them and say, okay, yeah, and what? Bye, motherfucker, bye. That's what you say to them. Because you don't have to give what they're saying life. If you don't give something life, guess what it does? It dies. It never comes to life. It ceases to exist. So stop caring what the fuck other people think because you and you are the only person that matters. And when you can let that go, you can let it go like water off a duck's back. Your life becomes much simpler, easier, happier, peaceful, and more balanced. And when you do get a compliment from someone, whether it's strings attached or not, you can take it and roll with it and don't put much stock or weight in it because you are that person. You are that special person that deserves the love. And if you're giving it to yourself, I can naturally guarantee you're going to get in the world. Now, you're going to always have some motherfuckers who are trying to play you. That's a part of life. But at least you will have the clarity of thought and mind not to get fooled by their bullshit. So again, so you can know something else about me. I don't do apologies. I don't deal with bullshit. And I give compliments with no strings attached because I just want to see you smile and be happy. Now, if you come to me with a compliment, I'm going to take the shit because I'm that bitch. I'm going to take the shit. But keep in mind, I'm watching your ass. and I can watch you for this lifetime, the next lifetime, and many lifetimes before, because I can guarantee you, if you're coming to me with a bunch of compliments, you want something. The question is, when are you going to approach me with it? Okay, let's get this shit started. I am talking about our political parties, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. I think they have completely lost the plot, really have lost the plot overall. The Republicans are being puppet mastered by their greedy donors, and their momentum is being fueled by their paranoid schizo wing of their base. Now, not all of their base is schizo and paranoid, but the ones that are giving them the momentum, the energy, the force, the life energy, they're schizo, they're crazy, they're completely crazy. And when you put the greed of their donors and the bipolar, manic, paranoid, schizophrenic wing of their base, and you put those two together, I think it's creating a perfect recipe for an implosion within the Republican Party, along with an explosion. Like, it's going to be massive, massive chaos for this political party. And I think whether they know it or not, they are working towards collapsing this political party. They have completely forgot their history, why they're here, what's the purpose of having two opposing parties, why and how you're supposed to work together and come to a common goal. It has completely left the radar. I don't think they have true leadership, because you have our president, POTUS, who is tweeting absurdly, attacking his party, attacking the other party, attacking any and everyone. And they're all spreading propaganda and disinformation. Some of it's coming from their base. Some is coming from DC. It's coming from all over the place. So it's like, where are you going? You don't look like a party that has a vision that's going to benefit our nation today and for our future. Republicans are in the spotlight because they have so much power. They're controlling the Congress and the Senate. I mean, they have so much influence right now. And instead of using it for something that's revolutionary as far as where our nation is going and taking it to the next level and being a role model for the world, you have their base is divided with racists, paranoid, scared people, and balanced moderates. And on top, you got the donors who are helping to fuel the madness, because some of them fall into the racist category, the paranoid category, and the balanced moderate category. So it's like a complete shitstorm. So you got a fire burning this party from the top, the Republican Party, and you have a fire burning it from underneath. They are incinerating themselves. I mean, this combo is very toxic, and is creating an avalanche of blatant lies, cover up, twisting and counter narratives of the story. And it's so unbelievable that you think that this is not real. Like, what's going on and how they're handling situations is not real, because how can you blatantly lie, get on national TV, conduct interviews and lie, tweet and lie, and have no shame? There's no repercussions. There's no consequences. The only people that I think our politicians, Republican politicians, think they have to answer to are the rich donors. I don't even think they give a fuck about the base, whether it's the balanced moderates, the racists, or the paranoid schizophrenic people. They feel that there's no one that they are accountable to, and that they can keep this party going for forever. And when you look at it, simply cut away the fat, trim the trees, and cut to the shit. It's all about money and power and pride. And why am I throwing in pride? Because some of these politicians want their name written in history as doing something major. Like this is their parachute. This is their golden parachute. This is how they're going down in history. We completely overhauled the tax system. We won the presidential election by using foreign help and social media to trick people to get votes. Like, they are really thinking that this is something that they want a plaque on, a medal on. Like, this is something that's really, really worthwhile. But our political system, the basis of it, how it was born, it was meant to be a role model for the world. We, United States of America, are a democracy. That means something. I mean, that in itself is biblical. It's sanctified. It's treasure. It's special. It's something that I don't think they realize how sacred it is. It's sacred to say that the United States of America is a democratic nation, and this is what a democracy looks like. And yes, we have conflict and opposing points of views, but this is what it's about. It's about bringing out the best, leaving the rest behind, and making something beautiful, making something monumental. People, world citizens, countries, they look up to us. Now, I don't think they're looking up too far to us before, because we have basically fallen off of our motherfucking golden pony, our white elephant, or whatever you want to call it. We have fallen from the heavens. And I'm hoping that we can get back up there, because this has to be temporary. Look at how President Trump won the election. There was some foreign help, whether people want to accept it or not. There was assistance. And that assistance came through social media. And because he's such a showman and such a businessman, he knows how to push people's buttons to get them raw and primal. And that energy he used to fuel the momentum behind himself, to get the masses to follow him and want to vote for him. But at the end of the day, all these key leaders, Republican leaders, they're acting like mob bosses. If you go back in time and you look at how these different racial ethnic groups had their head leader, and they were all running, criminal organizations. They were running legit business fronts, but they had criminal organizations going on, and it was the blacks, it was the Jewish, it was the Hispanics, it was the Russians, it was the Polish. It didn't matter. Everyone had their good business front, where they shaked hands, handed out candies and things like that to people on the street. It was all for show. But behind the doors, they were all running criminal organizations. And unfortunately, you may think that I'm overreaching, but this is how the shit starts. When it's okay for politicians to break the law, or it's okay for politicians to break norms, guidelines, and rules, you're basically saying, okay, well, if this motherfucker over here doesn't have to release his taxes, doesn't have to disengage himself from his day-to-day businesses, and he's the president of the United States, and no one's really doing shit about it, then fuck, let's push the boundaries. Let's see how far we can take this shit. And that's how illegal, unethical shit starts. There's no checks and balances. Now we have this big whole Russian scandal. We can't make heads or tails of it, but all we do know, that's one thing we can agree upon, some shit happened. There's proof that some shit happened. There's proof that tweets, messages, social media was used to influence people's perceptions and to get them to choose to go Hillary's way or Trump's way. There's proof. And the proof is in the pudding, because Trump is president. And Hillary ended up on the short end of the stick. But it could have been Hillary that won with foreign help. But we got so unlucky, Trump won. He promised to overhaul the tax system that will benefit everyone. But it's all a lie. Some people got $1.50 added to their motherfucking paycheck. $1.50. That can't even buy you a motherfucking, it can get you a small kid's container of milk from Starbucks, but it's not buying you much of shit unless you go to the 99 cents menu at McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King. It's not buying you much of anything. Now, you and I both know that these corporations are getting more than 99 motherfucking cents. So what's going on here? And they keep trying to because they were able to brainwash us before through social media. And that is how our beloved President Trump won the election.
they're continuously trying to brainwash us to believe that this tax overhaul is a good thing. Like, all of us can't motherfucking add. Now, all of us didn't go to college. All of us don't have to go to college. But all of us know at the end of the day what the net pay on our motherfucking paycheck looks like. And I can guarantee you it doesn't look like $1.5 trillion. It looks more like $1.50. So how is it that these corporations are getting $1.5 trillion? And I didn't say million. I didn't say billion. I said trillion. And if you don't know, trillion is much larger than billion and million. But you're sitting here with $1.50 in your motherfucking paycheck, which can't even get you a fucking small cup of coffee from Starbucks. What the fuck are you supposed to do with that? Like, how long are we going to allow these politicians to play us like 2-bit $1.50 penny motherfucking fools? How long are we going to let them get away with it? How long? Why are we continuously sitting in our chairs, reading these stupid ass tweets and sticking our motherfucking thumbs up our butts instead of getting up and taking action? Because they're making fools out of us. We are readily and steadily looking like a corrupt government. That's what I said. The United States of America, currently right now, we probably have been some shade, some degree of corrupt, because as humans, we're imperfect. But right now, we look our worst. We look like a corrupt government with a failing democracy. Now, if I was leaders of some other nations, I would be sitting back with a cigar, whiskey, and my private club with my feet up, getting a massage, laughing my ass off, because they have made a mockery of our democratic system and our capitalistic system. We look like fools. And the more and more time that goes by and we don't check these sons of bitches, and we don't check the system, and we don't check these politicians, they are eroding what we are. They are not chopping us off the motherfucking legs. They have chopped us off at the goddamn neck. And I don't know if you know this. The body can't exist, or the head cannot exist without a goddamn body. So you have to think very long and hard about what I'm saying. Why would any nation go to great lengths to help get someone elected? And I understand you're Republican, vote Republican. Hoo. You're Democrat, vote Democrat. Yeah, great. It doesn't matter what political party won the presidential election. I'm telling you something deeper. Who won doesn't matter. Someone went to great lengths to help whomever win an election. What is in it for them to do such a thing? Why would they do such a thing? How do they benefit from doing such a thing? Because I can guarantee you, most of us are motherfucking lazy. We don't work unless we have to. So if someone's going to go to great lengths to program bots to influence information that's being shared on social media, information that's not true, which is called disinformation and propaganda, why would they do such a thing? What is in it for them? And you know what's in it for them? It's to erode our greatness. It's to make us look like clown, bitch ass fools. Our capitalistic system, which gives sanctions to these countries that aren't doing the right thing, is to undermine our democracy and our hoity-toityness and how we think we're so much better. They're trying to bring us down, not to our knees. They're trying to collapse us from the inside out. You see, with the Cold War, it was a direct front. We knew what was going on. But this is systematic. This is hidden. This is behind the scenes. And it's impacting what we are built upon. It's impacting everything that we do. And you have to think very long and hard. Is this something that I want to support? Is this something that I'm going to sit back and allow? Because our president doesn't want to address it because of his own personal ego issues. So he's never going to address how these foreign entities help him win the election. Okay, so that's his side shit issues. We're not going to deal with that. But in DC, the the Republicans, the Democrats, and the Senate and the Congress, they should be on this shit like flies on goddamn shit. That's where they should be on it, because we are vulnerable. And the people are so busy caught up in their own personal agendas that they're letting this shit fade. And it's going to happen again. If you don't check a motherfucker who comes for you, you better believe they're going to keep coming for you. And each time they're going to punk your ass, punk your ass, punk your ass. So we're not addressing this. We're in 2018, motherfuckers, if you don't know that. Yes, I just called all of you people motherfuckers because I understand it's a term of endearment, okay? Right now, motherfucker has a different meaning and it shifts if you haven't figured out with me. In 2018, we have an election coming up. And that election is supposed to correct and rectify what is going on in our political environment. And if we haven't done anything to date but fight and bicker about shit that means nothing, we are in trouble. We are in deep, deep trouble. And I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know if, one of the Sopranos, mob bosses have to fucking get elected for you people to get your motherfucking heads together. But if we don't fix this shit, we are on a very, very slippery slope of a decline. And we don't want that, because once our position, our image is weakened, once our appearance of greatness is weakened, we become a target. We are no longer a threat. See, the US of A is a superpower. We are a motherfucking threat. But now we are being undermined behind eyes, behind closed doors. And once whatever this is, I don't need to call out, you can figure that shit out, finish undermining us, we are no longer strong. We appear weak. And we both know what happens to weak motherfuckers in the jungle. They get eaten. They get destroyed. They cease, desist. They no longer exist. We become extinct like the goddamn dinosaurs. So if you have no interest in losing your motherfucking way of life, your rights, your freedom of speech, your liberties, your happiness, the pursuit of motherfucking happiness, get your shit together real fast. Start holding the Democratic, the Republican Party accountable. Start holding these politicians accountable. Start holding these fucking businesses that we're spending our money with accountable, because they're robbing us, they're looting us, and they're so fucking greedy. They can't see that we're being undermined, and they can't take their egos out of the way to address the fucking problem, because to address the problem means their corrupt, criminal, unethical behavior is going to expose. And right about now, everyone's trying to save their own motherfucking asses, which is why so many politicians are retiring. You know why we're retiring? Because they're weak ass sons of bitches. Weak ass sons of bitches. They help create this mess. They help sustain the mess. But they don't want to stick around to motherfucking fix the mess. They're leaving us high and dry. People who have been around in Congress and the Senate, they're leaving with no solution, no alternatives, nothing available to us. They're relying on us as the citizens to fix this shit, when they were there stirring the motherfucking pot and helping this shit stew brew. They're leaving. So we have a threat from outside the country, which is undermining our democratic system. You have people, leaders that we voted in, who have been there for generations, that are leaving because they're saying, I don't want to be tied to this toxic shit. I don't want my name tied to this. So who is taking the helm? Who is going to self-correct this shit? Who's going to do it? That's where I'm going to leave you. Who is going to do it? And if we don't do it motherfucking fast, kiss your life, kiss your world, kiss your ass goodbye. Okay, now our government is stripping us, our country, of trillions of dollars like it's a $2 hooker off the street. And we are looking like, the Indian, Somalia, Sudanese government. We are lying, manipulating, and disregarding our citizens. So, where do we go from here? And how did we get here? I think this type of madness started after 9/11. And, George Bush was voted in, and we had to go to war with the Iraq War. And, George Bush actually helped to enrich a number of his friends, his cronies, his classmates. And it was 8 years of madness. And I think a lot of people resented, a lot of citizens in our country resented what happened during those 8 years. And, lo and behold, Barack Obama shows up on the scenes, and he gets elected. And I think that really rattled a lot of people because they had to wait 8 years to chuck the darky out of the White House. And they couldn't, they were going mad. It was just like they were going mad and they couldn't chill the fuck out with the fact that, they had a color man in office. So now Obama's out. And the whole time, well, Obama's out of the office now, but when he was in the office, you have the cray-crays, the crazies. They started, planting seeds of madness. And that is where it all began. It started with, the Iraq War and Black Hawk and all them making millions and millions of dollars off our country. And then we elected someone most people thought would never, ever, ever, ever happen, meaning an African-American being president. And then they had to wait 8 years to get rid of him because his ass, chocolate chip ass, wasn't supposed to be on the wall. But he is on the wall. So this is like a revenge. This is like a revolt. And that is why the Republican Party is acting the way they are. Because for 8 years, their whole value system, or whatever you want to call it, it was threatened. I guess it was harmed or disrespected for some reason. Because now they don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves. And they're behaving so un-American. Yes, I said it. The Republican Party is behaving very un-American. Now, you cannot be in a democratic society with two opposing or, 2+ opposing political parties and not work to get along and to pass initiatives that benefits our nation on a whole. They are using every political trick, law in the book, things that were in fucking 200 years ago, centuries ago. They're using every trick of the trade to do whatever it is, to do whatever the fuck they want because they feel like they're owed something for having to work with the chocolate chip that was in the White House for 8 motherfucking years. They feel owed something, like they've been contaminated, they were tortured, they were fucking prisoners of war. They feel like something has happened that they feel that they are owed something. And that is why they're acting like fools, complete fools. They are using fear as fuel to have bullying behavior. And I believe it's impacting their judgment. Look at our president. He is a bully. He's a cyber motherfucking bully. He's a motherfucking in-person bully. He's a goddamn bully. And I can't believe that there's no one who has the persona, the balls to stand up and go against him. And even if it's not one person, what if it's multiple people? It's like, what? They're there to serve us. And they're all acting like cowards. They are promoting crooks and predators to high offices. Now, anytime you start putting unethical people and high offices, and you know they're unethical, what exactly do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to maintain ethics and integrity? They understand our liberties and freedoms. They understand the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. No, they're motherfucking white-collar gangsters. White-collar gangsters are being put into places that affect policy, that affect our relations with people overseas. It impacts the goodwill. Yeah, I said goodwill. Goodwill is usually used in terms for businesses. But as a nation, the United States of America, we have goodwill. We have a presence. People have an expectation of us to do X, Y, and Z. And we're not doing X, Y, and Z. We're doing motherfucking A. We're doing B. We're fucking doing E's and F's. We're doing everything contrary to what we're supposed to be doing as a superpower in this world. And it's because we are promoting crooks, unethical people, and predators into positions of power that do not understand the nature of politics and what it entails. For example, the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, was created to be our nation's overarching police force. They are here to rid and prevent federal, state, and local criminal behavior. They are there to stop corrupt, powerful thugs. They're here to make sure the criminals do not get away with criminal behavior. But lo and behold, our president is attacking the organization that's here to protect our nation. He's undermining their authority. And I'm not sure if you know this, but anyone that has kids, you know that you have to be a disciplinarian sometimes. And if you are being undermined and doing that, that erodes your authority. And once your authority is eroded, you look like a punk, weak-ass motherfucker. And no one listens to a punk, weak-ass motherfucker. You get disregarded. You get punked. You get played. You get ran the fuck over. So if POTUS, the president of the United States, is undermining the head policing force in our nation, how the fuck does that look? How the fuck is that going to fare? Like, what the fuck are these people thinking? And the Republican Party and the Democrat Party is sitting back, letting that shit happen. Like, if I was them, I would grow a pair. I probably have a few pair, but I would grow a few more pair of balls. And I would say, look, this is undermining who we are, what we are as a nation. We cannot allow this to happen. There are systems in place. There's checks and balances in place for a reason. And he's undermining hundreds of years of work, of visionary work in 1 year. Centuries of work, generations of people, wars that have been fought, won, lost. People have died. People have been injured for our democracy, for to be safe, to have the pursuit of happiness and liberty that is being undermined. And these so-called fucking leaders of ours is allowing it to happen. There's long-term collateral damage to this. It is making it so that people who are younger lack the respect that is needed for our organizations like the CIA, the FBI, the Department of Justice. It is eroding that respect, that inherent respect that all of us had and used to have because we understood the role that something served. Now, humans, we are not perfect. That's why we're human beings. We make mistakes. But being human beings, we are able to learn and self-correct. These people are blasting the motherfucking FBI like no one has ever made a mistake. These lying-ass motherfuckers are pointing out the FBI as doing something wrong when the FBI has more integrity, more respect, more honor than these motherfuckers who are voting in laws for us. Now, that's crazy. And no one is standing up and saying anything. Now, I sound like a wild, crazy-ass chicken right about now because no one's motherfucking saying it. No one's calling a spade a goddamn spade and saying, look, we need to fix this shit because this is how it impacts us. Who has the power? Who has the wealth? Who has the voice? Who has the influence to get this message out and say, look, just like when you're at home, the mother and father has respect. Because if they're not getting respect, then they're getting bitch slapped by the kids and the kids are running amok. And you cannot have the kids running amok. Someone has to be in charge. Someone has to make those hard decisions that may not be completely favorable for the Republicans and it may not be completely favorable for the Democrats, but it's balanced, it's moderate, and it makes sense. And these motherfuckers should have enough wherewith to understand that that is what being a politician is about. It's not win all the goddamn time. And it's not about getting things your way. It's about having the moral conscience to say, you know, I need to fix this shit before I retire. Or I need to put someone or help set someone up that I know has the strength of character to fix this shit before I leave office. But they're not doing that. Motherfuckers are dropping like motherfucking turds from a horse's ass. They're taking the cowardly way out. That's what I said. They're dropping like turds from a horse's ass. A horse is walking and he's going plop, 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 drop, drop, drop. These motherfucking politicians are fucking, they're ducking, they're hiding, they're dashing, they're running. They're fucking cowards. And we should not have voted with people with such weak characters to run our country. Our country was built on some serious hardcore shit. It was brave, very brave, innovative, intelligent people who were hard ass and they will fucking bust a cap in your ass before you know it. That was in the Wild Wild West. Now, I think nowadays people are still busting caps in people's asses, but that's beside the point. Back then in the Wild Wild West, there was no law. Everyone was out for themselves. And that's what I feel like is going on right now. People are out for themselves. They have lost the long view and no one's doing anything. Democrats are sitting around like they're homeless beggars waiting for the Republican biggest, fuck up. That's what I said. Democrats are sitting around like homeless motherfucking beggars waiting for the Republicans to do this one big major fuck up that they can take to the bank and make some shit happen. Well, guess what? The Republicans are too smart for your motherfucking ass. They are running tricks and they are basically running circles around your motherfucking ass, and you guys haven't figured out what the fuck is going on. You haven't figured out what the fuck is going on. And by the time the Republicans are done, your shit is done. It's going to be over. The show is going to be motherfucking over. You are always 2 steps behind and so motherfucking late. Now, the plus side is the fuck ups. So many fuck ups happen. Big fuck up, mini fuck ups. It happens so much that then you have another revolutionary election like Obama's and someone else wins and pulls shit together. But we shouldn't have to go through that. It's very tumultuous. It looks very unstable. It looks imbalanced. And frankly, we're not looking like the superpower that we are. And we have to fix it. And we have to fix it really soon. I'm going to end this particular segment with something very, very hard hitting. I want you all to think back. Some of you may have been alive. Some of you may not. But I just want you to work with me here. Think about war. All the wars you've heard about, the pictures you've seen. The U.S., we've participated in wars overseas and domestically. I want you to think about all the lives that have been lost, forgotten, tattered, torn, injured people, our veterans. Think about them. Think about them long and hard. Do you know what they were fighting for? They were fighting for our independence, our democracy, our capitalistic society. When I sit back and I watch the bullshit that's happening with the fucking stupid ass tweets and the Republicans overhauling the tax system and giving $1.5 trillion to corporations, and then on the same hand, they're not funding things for our veterans. They have basically cut funds and they want to build a wall. How the fuck are you going to build a wall when you don't have any motherfucking money? You just gave $1.5 trillion away back to corporate America. And now you want to sit here about where's the money to build a fucking wall. Have you lost your motherfucking mind? Like, where are these people from? But people have lost their lives to give these politicians and us, you and I, an opportunity to have freedom of speech, freedom of life, freedom of press. And these politicians that are lying, running circles, robbing us, they're making a mockery of it. They're making a mockery of our democracy. The lives that have been lost and injured, they're turning in vain. They're in vain. Because if they actually meant something, our politicians, our leaders, they would handle themselves in such a different manner. They would realize that the souls, the spirits that went into building this great nation of ours, those souls or spirits, they're not lost just because we can't see their body. Those spirits are still with us today. And it's a shame to watch them cut $1.5 trillion. First of all, we were already in motherfucking debt. And they've added to our debt and telling us some bullshit like in the future, that's a hope wing and a motherfucking prayer. I said, yes, you don't live off of hope. Hope doesn't feed you. A prayer ain't gonna pay your motherfucking rent. And you can't fly with one goddamn wing. Let me tell you that. So that's what a hope wing and a prayer means. Everything that we fought for, we've died for, we've bled for, it's being lost, completely lost by the Republicans and the Democrats today, nowadays. They're robbing us. They're lying to us. They're cheating us. They're making a mockery of us. And they're making our federal government for the people who give the biggest checks to their fucking campaigns. And that is wrong. I don't care if you're in the middle of the country, the right of the country, the left of the country, the top, the motherfucking bottom. Get your motherfucking head straight and realize what's important. We're being made a fool out of. If I was your leader, I wouldn't tell you that I can get your coal mining jobs back because I know coal is going away. I would spend time investing in you and retraining you in the next best thing so you can continue to take care of your family in the motherfucking future. That is what a real leader does. They don't lie to you. They don't give you hope, wing, and prayers. They make shit happen. They make shit happen that is really possible and sustainable without harming the future, the current and the future. That's what real leaders do. We need to check these bitch ass people, these weak ass motherfucking politicians, and put real people with real heart, real guts, and real intelligence who have empathy and compassion into office. Because we don't want to end up like some of these governments in Egypt with civil war, what happened in Russia. We don't want to end up like that. So if you don't want to end up like that, we have to change it now. That is how the Holocaust happened. Whether you believe in it or not, I don't give a fuck. The people who believe in it, work with me. If you don't, stop listening at this point and then pick up on my next goddamn segment. Bad shit happens because people don't do shit early enough. They wait for it to get turned into a big ass monster and then they say, oh, how did that happen? You know how it happened? Because you sat back, you did shit. When people were telling you something was wrong, you did nothing. Do something now. When did leadership become about the biggest, the most, the fastest, the richest? That is not what leadership is about. Leadership is a privilege. It's not a right. And nowadays, people act like it's an entitlement, like being a leader is a badge of honor. It's pride. Real leadership requires honor and integrity, sacrifice, vision, discipline, being able to manage and inspire, to bring out the best in others, not the worst. A leader is one that can command without bullying, without bribing, without arm twisting, without humiliating, without disrespecting. You know, our president focuses on who he beats, how he beat them, and why he thinks he beats them. That doesn't make you a leader. That makes you appear very, very weak. Because a leader, when they walk into the room, they do not have to speak. You feel their presence. You feel their aura. You know they're there. You can feel their spirit. It is something that cannot be given. You cannot buy it. You may be able to train someone who has a bit of it to realize their full potential, but a real leader, one that has fallen from the heavens in the sky, that is not something that you can buy, that you can earn. It's not something that you brag about. And frankly, all the things that he talks about, how he beat someone, why he beat them, their weaknesses, that doesn't make him a leader. Even having the title of POTUS, President of the United States, that doesn't make you a leader. That doesn't make people respect you. That doesn't make people see the value that you bring. Just because you wear the crown does not make you royalty. That's what I said. Buying the crown, inheriting the crown doesn't make you royalty. That, being royalty, being a leader, that has responsibilities that one cannot understand. There's no glory in being a leader. There's no glory. It is a real serious responsibility. And I think it's been lost with reality TV and things like that. People think that being a reality TV show star or being a business person connected to others and making deals go through, that makes you a leader. No, that doesn't make you a leader. That does not make you a leader. That does not define a leader. That doesn't make people want to die for you. That doesn't make people want to give up food off their table when they have very little to you. A leader is something that is so magnificent and so powerful that words cannot describe it. Now, these are some of the virtues of a leader. A leader has deep honesty, moral courage, moral vision, compassion and care. They're fair. They have intellectual excellence. They have creative thinking. And they have aesthetic sensitivity. Now, let me go over the list. Honesty, moral courage, moral vision, compassion and care, fairness, intellectual excellence, creative thinking, aesthetic sensitivity. Our president lacks all but one of those traits. Would you like to guess which one he has? Okay, I got to give the brother something. He is a great creative thinker. He is a shrewd businessman. But having one trait That's quite pitiful. And why did I say he has creative thinking? Because look at how he won. Look at the tactics he used. Look how he was able to trump Hillary. Look at everything he was able to achieve. Now that took some brilliance. That took some genius. But demolishing people's character, demolishing what they were able to achieve, stealing other people's credit, inflating, deflating, or incinerating facts to feed your ego, that makes you brilliant. It doesn't make you a leader. Signing laws into effect that no one knows about besides yourself and the motherfucker that's handing you the pen and paper, that doesn't make you a leader. That makes you a motherfucking paper pusher. Because a leader doesn't have to hide behind what he's signing into law. He doesn't have a problem standing the fuck up and say, look, this is what the fuck I signed. This is why I signed it. I understand that 50% of you people don't agree, but let me tell you how this is going to help our nation going forward. Let me tell you why, because I see the tide is turning. I see what is happening, and this is how this is going to help protect your future and mine. That is what a leader does. They don't hide behind their motherfucking Oval Office desk. They get up in front of people. They explain the difficult messages in a compassionate, respectful, loving manner. They don't attack people with motherfucking tweets. They take fire and they give motherfucking fire. Because leaders are built with Teflon. They're made of steel. They're not weak. They don't give a fuck if someone likes them, dislikes them, likes them on motherfucking, likes their tweet, not like their tweets, follow them. A leader doesn't give a fuck about that shit because they have real things to take care of. A leader doesn't get their fucking agenda from Fox News. A leader has a vision. If a leader doesn't know something, a leader goes out and finds the shit. And if they can't find the shit and they can't understand the shit, they hire a motherfucker who can get it done. That's what a leader does. They're visionary. They're almost like godlike. And forgive me for saying it, but I meant godlike not in replacing God or a higher spiritual being, but having those qualities that are just cosmic, that are universal, that are powerful, that are influential, that are beneficial to all. That are beneficial to all. Not perfection, but beneficial to all. That helps to make the world a better place for mankind. Now, some of you may call these people angels, saints, call it whatever you want, but they're all here to serve a purpose, which is to make this world a better place. A monkey, if you train them well enough, can sign motherfucking laws into place. If you put the paper in front of them and put a pen in a monkey's hand, a monkey can sign a motherfucking law into things. So it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything at all. I think he has the biggest dick syndrome. You know the motherfucker with the tiny dick who wants to pretend like he has the biggest dick? That's what I think it is. He has little dick syndrome. Did I make this shit up? Yes. But work with me here. Why do you constantly have to brag and boast about bullshit ass achievements? Why lie about overhauling a tax system when you know damn well it only benefits you and your motherfucking buddies? Why lie and make someone feel better about adding $1.50 to their motherfucking paycheck? Because you're weak and you're motherfucking whack. That's why. Because if you had real leadership qualities, you would say to someone, look, yes, I overhauled the tax system. Yes, I added $1.5 trillion to the deficit. But let me show you this. In 1 year, this deficit is going to decrease by this amount of money because this additional revenue is going to add twice to what I lost, twice revenue back into the government's coffers. So yes, we lose 1.5 trillion today, but we will have 3 trillion tomorrow. And this is how it's going to happen. That's what a leader does. You do some shit that's unpopular, but you're able to show the rhyme, the reasons, the facts, the real motherfucking facts of why you did it and why it's beneficial. Because if you can do that, you cut down on the suspicion, the side-eyeing, the people feeling like they've been ripped off. You cut all that shit down. But if you can't give facts about hard, concrete returns about when the government's going to get more money to fix these motherfucking potholes on our goddamn freeways, if you can't explain that, you're whack. If you can't explain where you're going to get the motherfucking money from to build a goddamn wall when you just gave away 1.5 trillion. Okay, imagine if you have $100 in your wallet. Would you give $50 of that shit away and hope of getting more money in the future? You don't know how you're going to get the money. You don't know when you're going to get the money. But you're going to get $50 away? That's some straight up bullshit. You and I both know it doesn't make any goddamn sense. The people who got the tax benefits are going to get their money immediately. The rest of you motherfuckers are going to be waiting for the rest of the $1.50 to buy a $3 cup of coffee from Starbucks, because it's never going to happen. What's going to happen is that, yes, more jobs will be created, but they will not be high-paying jobs. They will be low, mediocre, middle-paying jobs that basically add more people to the payroll, yes, and more people to pay the taxes, but they cannot add enough people to the payroll to make up for the extra shortfall they created by giving these corporations more money. So you need to beware of a man and a suit. It can be a cheap suit, an expensive suit, a bespoke suit. If you don't know what bespoke means, Google the shit. But since you ain't got the time, it's custom. Beware of someone sitting in front of you telling you some shit that you and I both know is far-reaching, long-reaching, cannot happen, probably won't happen, has a long shot of happening. But it's easier for you to believe a fucking con man than to use your goddamn sense and realize, you know what? This man, the president, potential president, running president, saying he's going to keep my job in the coal mine. He has no say in the hiring process. He has no investments in this company, but he's telling me he's going to help me keep my motherfucking job. He hasn't told me how he's going to do it. He doesn't tell me the timeline of when it's going to happen. But it's easier for you to believe the shit he's saying because that is what you want to hear. Because you're in denial about the fucking truth. You see, when you're in denial about the goddamn truth, what you're doing is you're delaying the opportunity to fix the shit before you lose your job. Let me say it again. When you know down the road that your job is at stake, and instead of pivoting means making a slight turn and figuring out a way to cover your ass, you'll rather listen to a man in a bespoke suit, custom suit, tell you he's going to help keep your job when you know you will never see that motherfucker again. He will never be in the plant. He will never show up. He will never do anything, but he's going to help you keep your goddamn job. When he didn't hire you, he does not write in your performance reviews. He doesn't give you a goddamn raise. He has nothing to do with you. But he's telling you something because he's in a high position. You want to believe it. Instead of turning around, picking up a motherfucking book, reading, getting yourself retrained before your job, you lose your job, and then landing back on your feet. Stop listening to motherfuckers in suits. Stop listening to con man. Stop listening to people who tell you what the fuck you want to hear. Take a step back. Connect the fucking dots and realize, how am I going to get ahead? How am I going to come out ahead? How am I going to come out ahead? Am I going to come out ahead because someone else is going to do it for me? Or am I going to come out ahead because I do it for myself? You see, President Trump didn't fill out your job application. President Trump didn't write your motherfucking resume. You did it. You woke the fuck up. You decided you needed a motherfucking job. You filled out the application. You went through the interview. He didn't coach you for the motherfucking interview. You went through the motherfucking interview. You prepared. You got the job. You kept the job. Now the job is going away. Not because of anything you did. It's because shit changes. So when shit starts to change, you need to motherfucking change also. Change is scary, but get the fuck over it. The seasons change. The motherfucking moon changes. The sun changes the goddamn position. So you have change going around you all the motherfucking time. Even the way you shit changes. Even the color of your fucking piss changes. So don't sit here and tell me that you can't handle change. Face your motherfucking fears and move forward. Now, finally, if someone says something enough time, that don't make the shit true. If someone tells you something enough times and they tell it to you with great confidence and assurance, that doesn't make the shit true. So you need to think very long and carefully about when you're listening to someone. Because they can say it enough. No, there was no collusion. 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 2, collusion is not a crime. But even if there was collusion, there was no collusion. It's all shit. If it doesn't add up, if it doesn't connect straight, it's bullshit. It is bullshit. So please remember that. Stop listening to people who overstate, who misstate, and make false claims. Our president is a door-to-door salesman. He has a sales pitch for everyone. And if you were foolish enough to buy his sales pitch, forgive yourself. learn from the shit, pick yourself up, and make things happen. You got to where you are today because you made shit happen, and you're going to get to where you're going tomorrow because you make shit happen. If you're waiting on a motherfucker in a suit who are on TV, who appears to be successful, who have filed for bankruptcy God knows how many goddamn times, you're going to be waiting for a long damn time. Matter of fact, just hold your motherfucking breath. Hold your breath. Because I can guarantee you, by the time you finish holding that motherfucking breath, you will be dead. And if you have no interest in being dead, stop listening to fucking con men. Trust yourself, listen to yourself, and make shit happen. That will get you results a lot faster than a man in a motherfucking bespoke suit. Remember that shit. Are you disappointed this has come to an end? Well, it doesn't have to. Reach out and let me know what you think about this episode and my podcast. You can try and slide into my DM, but I will kick your ass out. So I suggest you hop into my DM on Instagram at Difficult and Demanding or Twitter at Mrs. D&D, or leave a comment on one of my posts. Now give. My episode links to friends, family, associates, frenemies. Hell, give it to your enemies. Actually, I don't give a damn who you give it to. Just give the shit to people and bring laughter to others and show your love for this podcast. Are you getting ready for me? Because I'm definitely getting ready for you. Another episode of the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast, keeping it real on the ridiculous world we live in, is on its way. It is called Fooled Me Once. The release date for episode 13 is February 16th, 2018. Check me out on Instagram at Difficult and Demanding and Twitter at Mrs. D&D. You will find a lot of enjoyment with my posts. But before you leave my page, follow me and drop me a line.